Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our free BRCGS certification familiarization training. I'm Jezreel from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Today, we will be focusing on the food safety and quality policy as required under BRCGS Clause 1.1.1 within Senior Management Commitment and Continual Improvement Requirement. This requirement emphasizes that senior management must define, implement, and maintain a clear policy that demonstrates their commitment to food safety, product quality, and continual improvement. Strong leadership is the cornerstone of BRCGS certification. Without active engagement and accountability at the senior level, it becomes challenging to embed a culture of food safety, ensure consistency in operations, and drive continual improvement. By understanding this requirement, you will see how senior management's role directly influences audit readiness, certification success, and the ongoing effectiveness of food safety and quality systems in compliance with BRCGS standards. Before we proceed, let me first introduce our company and the services we provide. Consultare Inc. Group started in 2007 as a service provider assisting businesses with U.S. import and export requirements. Over time, our focus expanded into food safety and product certification support. We now offer specialized services such as PCQI, FSQA, FSVP services, supplier approval programs, and we've also developed a compliance management system software through interlinkiq.com to streamline documentation and audit readiness. And to further support businesses, we launched dedicated platforms for compliance with FSVP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, and dietary supplement regulations, helping companies stay aligned with global food safety and certification standards. Over the next several weeks, we'll be walking through the key components of BRCGS 1.1, Senior Management Commitment and Continual Improvement. Each session will highlight a core requirement, such as food safety and quality policy, management review, or food safety and quality culture plan, and show how these elements connect to certification success and daily operations. This progressive approach ensures that you not only understand the requirements, but also how to apply them effectively within your organization. In today's session, we will begin by familiarizing ourselves with the BRCGS Clause 1.1.1 Food Safety and Quality Policy. We'll start with a clear description of the requirements, followed by a walkthrough of the compliance action activities, which are scheduled tasks carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual basis to ensure ongoing certification readiness. We will also discuss the importance of the annual review and internal audit activities, which serve as checkpoints to verify the effectiveness of the program and maintain continuous improvement. After this section, we will open the floor for a Q&A session, giving you the opportunity to clarify requirements and ask questions related to implementation. As part of this training, you can access a free 90-day trial of our BRCGS certification management software. This tool helps streamline compliance tasks, assign accountability, and keep audit-ready records. It's also a great way to prepare for BRCGS certification, as many participants use it to get familiar with the BRCGS standards and practice spotting compliance gaps before an official audit. And finally, upon completion of this training, each participant will receive a familiarization training certificate. To ensure you receive your certificate, please make sure that your full name, phone number, and email address are submitted to hello@consultare.com. You will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session, where we will be working directly with the BRCGS Compliance Management System software. Once logged in to the software, you will have access to the compliance dashboard. So this dashboard serves as a digital library and management tool where you can centralize the BRCGS standards and all related compliance documentation. As you can see, The requirements are arranged in hierarchy so you can quickly navigate, upload, or retrieve important documents when needed, especially during an audit. Let's start by going over the description of the BRCGS Clause 1.1.1 Food Safety and Quality Policy. Please take a look at this description on the screen. It says, the site shall maintain a documented policy stating its intention to meet obligations for producing safe, legal, and authentic products specified quality and its responsibility to customers. So the policy shall first be signed by the person with overall responsibility for the site, be communicated to all staff, and include a commitment to continually improve the site's food safety and quality culture. So you may update or edit the description as needed, for example, to reflect revisions when a new BRCGS edition is released. To implement this requirement, the action items are outlined in the Compliance tab. So this section supports the food safety and quality team leader or the site technical or quality manager by organizing tasks by frequency, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual. So you can either add your own compliance action items to align with your current process, or we can preload all required activities for you to perform. So here are some examples of your compliance action items. To comply with the requirement under food safety and quality policy, you need to ensure that the policy is visible in designated areas like the production, offices, or training rooms. You also need to reinforce policy awareness through supervisor communication and shift meetings. Part of complying this requirement is also to monitor that staff behaviors align with the policy, like GMP compliance, food safety culture practices. You need to verify also that new employees received training on the food safety and quality policy during induction. Supervisors conduct spot checks or interviews to confirm staff awareness of the policy. You also need to address any observed gaps in understanding or compliance immediately. Conduct refresher awareness sessions to remind um, staff of the policy and its importance. You also need to review staff feedback or survey results related to the food safety and quality culture, or align the policy with the site objectives to confirm consistency. You also need to document compliance checks and improvements linked to the policy, and review the food safety and quality policy for relevance against any operational changes like processes, products, suppliers, organizational structure, and customer complaints, audit findings, or food safety incidents. You also need to communicate any updates to all staff via training, posters, or town hall meetings. And finally, as part of your semi-annual action item, you need to verify the policy remains signed and endorsed by the site's responsible person. So basically, this serves as your checklist of compliance activities that you need to perform. To complete these activities, we've provided work instructions and compliance activities in the instructions or evidence section. So it outlines the steps that you need to perform along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete an action item, like ensure the policy is visible in designated areas, like the production offices or training rooms. Let's see the work instructions here. So to comply that activity, you need to first identify designated display areas. So this involves determining strategic locations where the policy must be posted, like in the production floor, offices, the training rooms, or the employee entrance. So to comply with this activity, you need to complete the site map or list of designated display areas or policy posting plan. Also part of compliance to this requirement is posting and maintaining policy documents. So you need to display the latest approved version of the food safety and quality policy in all identified areas. You also need to ensure that policies are either laminated, framed, or otherwise protected from damage. So the artifacts or records that are needed here are copies of posted policies, version control log, or photo evidence of postings. Part of performing this action is verifying visibility and accessibility. So you need to conduct regular walkthroughs to ensure posted policies are legible, accessible, and in good condition. So your artifacts here are site inspection checklist, audit walkthrough reports, or monitoring logs. You also need to communicate the updates. So it involves replacing outdated versions immediately when the policy is revised. You also need to notify employees of the updated postings through meetings or memos or digital announcement. So your artifacts or records are policy revision log, change communication records, or training attendance sheet. Also, you need to include in training and induction. So it involves reinforcing awareness of the posted policy during onboarding and refresher training session. So the artifacts or records that need to be completed are your training materials, induction checklist, or employee training records. So these are your compliance activities that will help you comply with the requirements. So once these activities are completed and supporting evidence are uploaded, like your records, your artifacts, or your images, the designated reviewer and approver can verify the documentation. And once approved, the compliance status will be updated to reflect completion. So here is an example of a completed action item. Let's pick this specific action item. Monitor that staff behaviors align with the policy, like GMP compliance, food safety culture practices. So compliance can be demonstrated by uploading this form here. So it's SOP and GMP compliance monitoring record. So this is your supporting evidence that indicated compliance to the requirement. The goal is to ensure that um, every compliance action items are marked as yes, keeping you fully compliant and audit ready. So once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific process. Now let's go over the annual review tab. It serves as your gap assessment or annual review tool. This tab is designated as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaires aligned with the BRCGS standards. So it lists all required annual review items to help you maintain compliance with BRCGS certification requirements. Under the Food Safety and Policy Program, annual review questions might include the following. Was a management review meeting conducted within the past 12 months or 1 year? Did senior management attend the management review meeting? Were progress updates on previous management review action plans and timelines reviewed? Were results of internal audits, second-party audits, or third-party audits reviewed? Were unmet objectives identified and their root causes analyzed? Were customer complaints and feedback included in the review? Were incidents like recalls, withdrawals, corrective actions, nonconformities, out of specification results evaluated? Was the effectiveness of HACCP reviewed? Was the effectiveness of the food defense plan reviewed? Was the effectiveness of the food fraud or authenticity plan reviewed? Was the effectiveness of the food safety and quality culture plan reviewed? Were resources or resource requirements like staffing, training, equipment, or infrastructure evaluated? Were records of the review documented and maintained? Were revised objectives set to encourage continual improvement? Were the decisions and actions from the review communicated to relevant staff? And were responsibilities, timelines, and follow-up actions clearly defined and implemented? So these are your sample of the annual review questionnaires that you need to assess in order for you to verify compliance to the food safety and quality policy program. So let's take one annual review item as an example and see how compliance will be demonstrated. For instance, the question was a management review meeting conducted within the past 12 months? So let's check on the work instruction here on the instruction section on how to perform or to complete this annual review item. So to make sure or to verify if a management review is conducted within the past 12 months, first you need to schedule annual review management or annual management review. So you need to ensure that a formal management review meeting is planned at least once every 12 months. Um, it should be included in the compliance calendar, and the artifacts or records that you need to have are annual meeting schedule, management review plan, and your compliance calendar. After scheduling the annual management review, you need to conduct the actual management review. So hold the meetings with participation from senior management and relevant department heads. And during the meeting, you need to cover all BRCGS required agenda items like the policy review, objectives, audit results, complaints, incidents, and continual improvement. So during the conduct of the management review, you need to complete the management review meeting agenda, the attendance sheet, and as well as presentation slides. And during the meeting, it is important to record meeting minutes. So you need to document the discussion, the decisions that are come up, and assign responsibilities. You also need to ensure that actions are clearly recorded with timelines and responsible person to make sure that the plans and decisions are implemented. The artifacts and records involved in this step is signed meeting minutes or either an action item register, task, or assignment log. Also, you need to follow up on action items. So after the meeting, you need to track progress of agreed actions from the management review and verify the completion of any corrective and preventive action. So the record or artifacts that needs here are action tracking log, CAPA records, or progress reports. And finally, you need to retain evidence for audit. So you need to ensure that all records are stored securely for auditor verification. And you should provide evidence that the meeting occurred within the past 12 months. So for this to happen, you need to keep the management review records file or an electronic storage system or a compliance tracker. So this is how to demonstrate compliance with this specific assessment or policy. So let's take a look at the completed document here as evidence of compliance to this specific requirement. So uploaded here is your management review record. So it states the last management review date, who conducted the review, the list of the attendees, the agenda topics covered during the management meeting, the meeting outcome, evidence of the minutes. So you can add here the file, the meeting minutes file, and then the compliance confirmation and authorized signature. So this proves compliance to this questionnaire was a management review meeting conducted with the past 12 months. Then again, your goal will be to convert all the no's into yes to make sure that you are fully compliant and that you are ready for an audit. So this simple functionality helps you measure compliance progress while also preparing your facility for both internal audits and external BRCGS certification audits. So, with that being said, let's move into our Q&A session. You can ask any questions that you may have regarding this presentation. Does the system automate or digitize forms for records, such as inspection forms and others? This is a great question, Arnel. Does the system automate or digitize forms for records, such as inspection forms? Verge, do you want to answer this question?
Yes, it's the system can automate or digitize forms. Do you have Arnel, would you like Jezreel to navigate on the e-forms? But the answer is yes. Yeah, you can proceed on the e-form dashboard, Jess.
Let me reshare my screen. I'm sorry. So these are your e-forms. So these are basically digitized production forms, and this can be customized based on your intended process. So let's take one example here, the freezer temperature. If your facility is involved in using a freezer, so you can add the description. Let me take another example. So let me go on the food defense challenge. Uh-huh.
Okay, just to add, Arnel, so the system is readily or customizable according to your intended process and requirements. So
Mhm.
the customization of the forms will be uh, on the team of our IT development. And also, if you will proceed on the free subscription, we can have a weekly meeting to discuss all the applicable requirements and information from your facility.
So you can also send an email to ask any questions. After this meeting, you will receive your training certificate, and you can respond or raise any questions or clarifications that you may have. So if you don't have any questions, that concludes our training session on BRCGS 1.1.1, Food Safety and Quality Policy. As mentioned, your training certificates will be sent directly to your registered email addresses. And we also invite you to join us again next week as we discuss our next topic, food safety and quality culture plan. For those who have not filled up the free certification familiarization sign up form, please feel free to do so and specify if you also wish to get your free 90-day account. If you have any questions, clarifications, or feedback regarding today's training, please don't hesitate to reach out at hello@consultareinc.com. Thank you so much for your participation, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead.